What's going on, guys? So before I continue on, I just want to say thank you all so much for watching my top 10 games of the year, and I do want to apologize that the video took a bit longer than I expected to get up. I always underestimate how long it takes to actually make those videos, but nonetheless, thank you all so much. But not only would I be talking about my favorite games of the year, but before I go on to my best and worst films of the year, I would also be talking about my favorite shows of this year because surprisingly enough, guys, and this is a shock because as most of you know, I don't watch live TV, but this year, I watched a lot of TV. I mean, quite a bit of TV, so I thought, you know what? Let's make a best of the year list. I was originally planning on making a top 10, but I thought, you know what? Let's keep it simple. Let's just do a top 5. So guys, I'm here to talk to you guys about my top 5 favorite TV shows of 2022. Of course, before I continue on, I must talk about this even though you've been hearing it all the freaking time through every content creator this year, but nonetheless, a couple of guidelines as per usual. First of which being this, guys, I have not seen every single TV show this year because, as you all know, there are a bajillion shows that come out every single year. And if I'm being honest, if I were to wait until I saw every single show this year, oh my god, it'd be at least 5, maybe 10 years. These are the shows that not only really liked watching, but the shows that I just loved every single second of. And I guarantee that my ranking is not going to be the same as your ranking. And again, that is completely okay. Last but not least, let's just have a great time talking about the shows that we all loved this year, in this case that I loved watching this year. Before I get into my top 5, I do have a couple of honorable mentions, but if I'm being real, if I were to do a top 10, these would be my 10 through 6, and my 10 through 6 are in a rapid fire fashion: Obi-Wan, Moon Knight, Never Have I Ever Season 3, Acapulco Season 2, and the one that almost made it, guys, Wednesday. Let's get into my top 5 shows of 2022. Let's get it on.
Number 5.
Starting off my top 5 list, at my number 5, I have House of the Dragon Season 1. As you all know, guys, I'm a big, and I mean a big fan of Game of Thrones. I don't know if you're able to see it. I have the 4K collection right down there. When I found out that they were making a Targaryen-centric prequel show to Game of Thrones, I was very interested. And let me tell you guys right now, House of the Dragon Season 1 was damn terrific. I mean, from the first episode into the final shot of the season finale, this show had me hook, lined, and sinker. Going from the incredible cast, I mean the cast in House of the Dragon was absolutely incredible. When I was watching House of the Dragon, guys, especially the first 2 episodes of House of the Dragon, it reminded me why I love Game of Thrones. Not just the family dynamics, but the political power within these shows. There were so many parts of House of the Dragon that had me on the edge of my seat, or figuratively biting my fingers. I did have some issues with season 1, one being the frequent time jumps. It just made it so that at times it made it a little hard to follow, and there's a couple of parts where a character could have said something and a situation could have been resolved a lot sooner. There are a couple of scenes in which I don't know what the hell they were doing, but there were some scenes that were just too damn dim. Like, just put another fucking light, for God's sakes. The moment I saw that final shot of season 1, I said out loud, give me season 2 right now.
Number 4.
Coming on to my number 4 spot, I have Andor Season 1. If you guys have been following me since 2016, you all know that when it comes to Rogue One, I love Rogue One, A Star Wars Story. It was in my top 10 favorite films of that year, and it's a film that I still believe to this day is essentially a Star Wars Battlefront movie. But then I'm not gonna lie to you guys, when I heard that they were making a Cassian Andor prequel, I just thought, why? Like, I just didn't think it was necessary. That was until I saw the first 3 episodes, and I'm not gonna lie to you guys, the first 2 episodes, while they're a bit of a slow burn, once episode 3 hits, this show picks the fuck up. And this is such a riveting and entertaining and thrilling spy thriller set in the Star Wars universe. This is easily, without a doubt, not only the most grounded of all the Star Wars things that we have gotten, but also the most mature that we've gotten since, honestly, I'm going to say this, since Empire Strikes Back. And not to mention as well that Diego Luna, I thought was just absolutely brilliant. Stellan Skarsgård, I thought was absolutely terrific. The entire cast was great. Once episode 3 hits, this is a show that you're not going to want to stop watching. It's a 12-episode first season, and there was not a single point of the show, especially after the first episode, where I was bored. And even more so is that it introduces new characters and new storylines, and when you think it's not going to really go somewhere, it absolutely does. And I was constantly not only enthralled, but thrilled and engaged throughout the entire show. And the final scene of episode 12 is just absolutely brilliant. I was definitely not expecting for the show to be not only as good as it was, but as great as it was. Bring on season 2, guys. The show is that great. Before I go on to my number 3 spot, guys, I just realized that I might get a lot of shit knowing that this is not my number 1, but I'm bracing for the comments, so here we go. At number 3 spot is Stranger Things Season 4. I did enjoy 2 shows more than this, but nonetheless, guys, Season 4 of Stranger Things kicked so much ass. Season 1, I absolutely love. Season 2 is almost as good, if not better than Season 1, if it wasn't for the second and final episode, which literally has nothing to do with the entire show. Season 3 felt a little repetitive at times with the narrative, but I gotta tell you guys right now, Season 4 kicked ass in so many different ways. I do have some issues with Season 4, one of them being that, well, spoiler alert in case you guys haven't seen it yet, I kind of wish that Hopper did die at the end of Season 3. I do kind of wish, but at the same time, I understand why they kept him around, especially going to Season 5. Every time they kept cutting away from the gang and back to Hopper and everybody else, I was wishing they would cut back to the gang, because in my eyes, Hopper's storyline was easily the weakest link, even though it was entertaining. But comparing that story to what was going on with Mike, Eleven, Will, Steve, Nancy, Eddie, oh my god, Auntie was amazing. And by the way, I really wish they kept Eddie. What I love the most about Season 4 is how much more mature and how much more focuses on a horror side. Stranger Things Season 4 reminded me a lot of Nightmare on Elm Street Dream Warriors, and in a way, Inception. And by far, my favorite episode from this entire season was Dear Billy, I believe episode 4. That was one of my favorite TV shows, or TV episodes, of the entire year. Dear Billy was that good. Although, I'm not gonna lie, when I saw Eddie Munson playing Master of Puppets on guitar, I did lose my shit and text my boss and said to him, holy fucking shit, an incredible season of storytelling. I cannot wait for Season 5.
Number 2.
Coming on to my number 2 spot, I have The Boys Season 3. I fucking loved The Boys Season 3. There are a couple of times in The Boys Season 3 where there are conveniences, but otherwise, guys, The Boys Season 3 kicked so much ass in ways that I was not expecting. I mean, the first episode alone does things that I never thought that they would do. Herogasm especially. That episode was fucking insane. I absolutely love The Boys Season 1. Season 2, I thought started off very strong, and I thought that the ending was a bit of a mixed bag. Season 3 made up for that for me in every single aspect possible, especially when it comes to all the story arcs, whether it's Huey, Homelander, Billy Butcher, Mother's Milk, or MM, not to mention Frenchie, Starlight, Maeve, oh my god, and Soldier Boy, who, by the way, is played brilliantly by Jensen Ackles. The commentary that the show does on superheroes in general and how it still continues on and evolves in Season 3, I thought was absolutely brilliant. Knowing what they're setting up for Season 4, I can't even fathom what we're gonna do, because Season 3 was fucking insane. And if Season 4 is anything like Season 3, we're in for possibly, it has to be the final season, right? I can't fucking wait what they're going to do for season 4.
It's number 1.
Coming on to my favorite show of 2022. You guys could have probably all have guessed it because I've been praising this show so much ever since it came out earlier this year. Literally, it came out in January of this year. And in case if you guys don't know what the show is, just give it away. I'm wearing the t-shirt for it. That's right, guys. Peacemaker Season 1. I cannot tell you all how much I loved this season. And if you guys remember correctly, it was revealed that Peacemaker was the somewhat sequel to the Suicide Squad, which, as you all know, is one of my favorite movies of all time. Every single moment of the show I absolutely loved. Whether it was the storyline, the character arcs, the performances, oh my god, the performances, especially from John Cena, Jennifer Holland, to which Twitter, James Gunn's wife is named Jennifer Holland. I feel like people want to... Anyways, I can get into a whole other discussion about that. Also, Steve Agee. I can't remember the girl who plays... Oh my god, who is she? I'm feeling so bad. I'll put her name right here. But she was absolutely incredible in the show. Also, Vigilante in the show, played by Freddie Armstrong, if I remember correctly, and Robert Patrick. Again, guys, I could go on such a ramble, I should say, about how much I love the show's performances. The dialogue is amazing, knowing that James Gunn wrote every single episode. And speaking of which, James Gunn is on such a roll, and I can't wait to see what he does with DC starting next year. Also, the soundtrack kicked so much ass, and speaking of the soundtrack, Peacemaker Season 1 has one of the best intro credit sequences I have ever seen on a TV show, not just this year, but that I have ever seen. Peacemaker was the only show that, at least in my eyes, didn't have a down moment, didn't have a bad episode, a bad joke, none of that stuff. And knowing how season 1 ends, I just cannot even imagine what they're going to do in season 2. And especially knowing that James Gunn is writing and directing all the episodes from what I have heard, I cannot fucking wait. Bring on Peacemaker Season 2. I am fucking there. That's going to wrap it up for my top 5 favorite shows of 2022. Please comment and let me know below what were your top 5 shows of this year. And also, give me a couple of honorable mentions. Let me know below. If you guys want to follow me on social media, I'm on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and Twitch. I'm also on Snapchat. So if you guys want to follow me on all those social media platforms, all the links in the usernames in the description below. I hope you all enjoyed my top 5 shows of 2022. If so, please hit that like button, also subscribe, and don't forget that notification bell for my latest review goes live. If you guys want to see in my previous 2 videos, please click either right there or right there. And of course, until my next review or video goes live, I will see you all next time.